We're Bethesda, and you're on BlackSquirrelRadio.com.
.com.
Hi, I'm Shanna Delaney, and I'm the lead vocalist of Bethesda.
And I'm Eric Ling, and I play acoustic guitar, rhythm guitar, and sing some harmonies on occasion for Bethesda.
And our whole band is not
Our whole
here,
band is missing.
which is a lot of regulars and fill-ins. So, but regular band members missing Alan Brooks Walker, who actually does his own little acoustic thing, and he's playing at Musica.
He's playing right now. So.
In Akron, and then S.D. Beasley on violin, and Justin Rafe on drums, and Dan Corby on bass.
All missing. All not here.
That's a big question.
Yeah, so we started out kind of very experimental, I think, as a lot of first bands do. Just trying to throw anything together and see if it stuck. And we kind of developed a sort of folky indie pop sound right from the get-go. And then moving through our albums into our current album, The Reunion, we got a little more folky, kind of honed in on what we really loved and what we thought really good at. So we're sort of more a, loud folk band that really focuses on the songs. And I think really we write for each individual song, so whatever it takes. So it sounds a little different each one.
So our first album, many moons ago, was obviously just us throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. So it was a bunch of different genres on there, from indie
Some
pop
punk
to
rock.
punk to because everybody was coming from different musical influences. And then to Dream Tiger was definitely more of an indie pop feel. To the Reunion, or actually Love in the Time of Tra-La-La, which was kind of, we introduced a little bit more folk element into that. But then our latest album, The Reunion, which we came out at last April, actually full-length album, definitely has more of a folk rock feel to it. But then we've been touring on that quite a bit. But now we wrote a couple singles, and those will be coming out maybe about summer or so. And then we're not really sure where we're heading after that, because we are under some band member changes. So as different band members had to leave and have babies and things like that.
Life things, yeah.
So we have different people kind of coming in. So it'll be interesting to see where the sound leads us. I think we're most excited about just introducing these new people to the band little by little, which we already have started to do, but we'll be getting a new drummer coming in May too. So I think we're really excited to see what the new personalities will lend to the band, and also their musical expertise. A lot of them are professional musicians as well who are joining the band, so it'll be interesting to see.
Do a lot of solos. Drum solo.
Maybe we'll do lots of 30-minute guitar solos or something we've never done before.
That's not true. We won't. I will never let that happen.
But yeah, we're just excited to see how everyone gels together and where the sound goes.
Yeah, we're really excited about Mates of State show at the Grog Shop. That's coming up here in a little bit.
Mates of State was probably definitely one of our favorite bands when we started dating at Kent State in undergrad in 2002. 2003 we started dating. And I even did the whole study abroad program in England that they have here, and he used to put Mates of State on, love CDs for me, rather than tapes, right?
Mixtapes, yeah. That was when you had to mix it yourself. You're listening to the radio and you're recording it with a little microphone and mixing it as you go. It wasn't that bad.
But we were really into them when we started the band. Actually, I don't think our sound is anything like them anymore, but it is really cool to get to open for them, because they're one of our favorite bands of all time. So, and that's coming up next Friday at the Grog Shop in Cleveland.
Yeah, and then in the summer it kicks off festival season. That's a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing Jersey Shore Music Festival, probably a lot like the TV show, I'm guessing. We're gonna get our spray tans before we go.
I will definitely do that. Bernie River Fest, which is in Cleveland. We're also playing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame we're opening for the big exhibit. That seems like a big thing.
That's a
we
big
should
thing,
mention.
yeah. Lots of exciting shows
in
coming
April
up.
still too.
And we have a tour coming at the end of June where we get to go nationwide, which is
So,
always really fun.
We'll see what's all happening.
Lots of fun.
Singles
things.
coming out, so yeah.
We're excited about everything, I guess, is the answer.
It's beckoning to me. Shirk my burdens in biology.
That's a lot of pressure.
Well, usually we write a lot quicker than we have been, but because we were touring so extensively on the reunion, and then like I said, we our lead guitarist changed out because he had a baby 3 months earlier than they were supposed to, and so he had to change out pretty quickly. But luckily, a guy that Eric works with, Alan Walker, who's also a local musician, he wanted to join the band. So he moved in, he learned all of our songs in a week, which is pretty impressive. But then, you know, Esty Beasley on violin, she joined kind of in the fall. So
We're trying to settle down so we can
we
write
were
more
trying to
songs,
like,
yeah.
we were touring still and trying to train fill-ins here and there, you know, and whatnot. So it's been, you can't really write when you're doing, you know, so much touring and those sorts of things. So now that we're getting settled in, you know, in April, May, and then we can start writing.
There are songs
again.
inside of me, so hopefully, you know, you can feel it as a songwriter. You can feel it when you're kind of at the burning point. You're like, I can sit down and write 3 or 4 songs if I put my mind to it. So I feel like I'm there. So whether or not those songs will be good or will be trash, all depends, and that will probably determine whether or not we have a full length soon. So we'll see. Hopefully, we're always gearing up to record new music and put new music out there. That's the best part. So.
Well, we
Yes.
definitely did until we just bought a house a couple weeks ago.
We just put our stakes in the ground. We
So-
we do love this area. We love Cleveland. Cleveland's really adopted us as a band, even though we're all about an hour plus away from Cleveland. It's just a great place to play. Great community of musicians, great community of people supporting musicians. Lots of awesome venues, Beach and Ballroom. There's Cleveland Music City. It does a lot of great shows. Burning River Fest.
Cellar Doors, a lot of great promoters
Yeah.
who care about the arts community. And so we really love the area and that, you know, but obviously if the, you know, we had the,
If it were to break
break
wide
we had
open.
the opportunity, we would, you know, and we had to really relocate, that's what we would have to do.
I also think the music business is changing a little bit to the point where you don't necessarily have to relocate. Being where we're at is ideal for us because in a weekend we can get, for instance, we were just in Brooklyn, New York this past weekend, and we're going to Washington, D.C. next weekend. You can get to all these great places as long as you're willing to get in a van and drive. So we don't take that for granted. We have friends that, you know, live out in Colorado or something, and they, you know, when they're ready to tour, they have to drive 20, 30 hours to start getting to a place where they can hit multiple places. So for now, it works.
Oh, a grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, right, taco.
I knew you were going to say taco.
Taco, totally. What does a grilled cheese sandwich have? They have nothing.
Cheese, and
No
then
cheese.
so it would
What kind of fight
it would
is this?
ooze out and drench you in cheese,
You
and then
can't drench it.
harden.
What kind of cheese, grilled cheeses are you eating? Like this cheese is just gonna stay there. The taco just dump all its taco meat on it, blind the grilled cheese, and then take its time as it
The cheese
meticulously
would
tears
drench
it
the
apart.
taco, turn solid, and then it wouldn't be able to move all of its parts.
So yes,
Clearly.
we are divided. I don't think we'll ever reconcile this difference. You've driven a stake into our marriage.
Well, I mean, I think what we were saying before is that there's just a lot of people in the past couple of years who are really working on the arts community, not just music, but the arts in general in Cleveland. And so they're trying to start a lot more festivals, like Bright Winter Fest, you know,
Yeah, it's a great festival.
Weapons of Mass Creation Fest, like different, you know, Burning River Fest. They're trying to start these fests, but also integrate, you know, graphic designers, painters, you know, all kinds of different dancers, and then bring people together. So like we were saying with people like Cellar Door and Cleveland Music City are promoters who are trying to reach out to the artists. They love music, first of all, and that's the most important thing. And then they want to work to see good things happen and bring the community together for the arts. So I think that that's pretty important, because you don't always see that in every city, and I don't think we had that in Cleveland as much as we have the past couple years.
Right, yeah, and you see all these great bands coming out as a result of that, you know, because there's so much encouragement in the music industry of people who didn't think that they could do music. You know, they get in with this community and they're like, hey, I'm going to try this out, and everybody's so supportive. You know, so when they're playing their very first song ever, that's kind of that do or die moment. If people like shoot it down, that's it for the musician, you know. So you see a lot of great bands birthing out of Cleveland right now, and it's going to continue to happen as long as that scene's there. And that's why you get these little pockets throughout the United States where there are all these great bands coming at the same time. I think Cleveland's right there. So it's really cool to be a part of that. Sort of having come in on the origins of that when it was all sort of boiling up, and then seeing it kind of grow into this big cool thing. It's been a lot of fun.
What is the coolest venue you've ever played at?
Bonnaroo.
Bonnaroo Music Festival.
Yeah.
When we were loading onto the stage, the Shins were playing right there. Like, not kidding you. They were like playing, and I'm singing the songs, I'm putting stuff on stage, and I can't believe this is happening. You know, Bon Iver was playing right down the road, like crazy, crazy cool. You know, and then as soon as the Shins stopped playing, they hit their final note, we got the cue and we hit our first note, and it was like, oh, it was so fun.
And everyone started walking over from there, and so then they all stopped like in front of your stage. So that was definitely
Yeah, huge crowd. I mean, it was like one of those dream shows, you know. And then later on at Bunbury Music Festival, I think
that was a cool
rivals
in Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati, they do it right underneath the highways there. So it's just this big open sort of urban scape, rather than the farm that Bonnaroo does. Tons of great bands. We played, and then tons of people there. It was great. And then went and saw Bell and Sebastian, which is another one of our favorite all-time bands. They were playing right down, so we like packed up our gear and walked 100 yards, and we're there. We're like, Bell and Sebastian are playing. This is so cool, you know.
Festivals are kind of the best to play because people are there because they really love music, all kinds of music, and they just want to be there and around music. So it makes it the best venue to play because they're ready to hear new music and new people and meet you, and they just want to have fun.
They expect to discover music there too, you know. Sometimes you play at these restaurants and people are like, you know, cutting their steak, and you start playing and you see them roll their eyes, you know. Like,
because they're there to talk to their friends and their family, and you know, they're not, you know, they could really like you, but that's like their intention at that moment.
Their intention is to eat food.
And
I
talk.
get that. Sometimes I just want to eat my food. It's a great question. I would find a stone that was hollowed out, and then I would put it inside of the stone, I think. Because people always think to look at wood for a squirrel's nuts. It's true. It's like, where's the squirrel's nuts? Probably inside of the tree. So I would throw a curveball by putting in a carved out rock. I think anyone find them.
I would put little posts on the back of them and make them earrings, and then if you
Wear them?
and wear them.
You'd be the only squirrel with earrings. Wait, are you a squirrel? You're a black squirrel,
I'm a squirrel
in this
in
scenario.
this scenario.
You are. You're not hiding. You're not just getting acorns. You messed up the whole question.
Or I'm a squirrel with nut earrings.
Nut earrings. That'd be like being a human with pizza earrings.
Which is pretty awesome.
Just do huge slices of pizza hanging from your ears. I could dig that. That's a tough question.
Well, I mean, I think if you're thinking about people catching on to your music, definitely an iTunes commercial of some sort, because those are with someone dancing. Like they used to do those. I don't think they even do them anymore.
They don't do them anymore.
The dancing commercial, the music in the background, that's the ones that they just, right? They just.
They have a car commercial. I feel like
jumping.
we would fit a car commercial.
A car commercial.
Yeah.
A Subaru. It has to be a Subaru.
Like a Subaru commercial. It'd be totally it. It would be in the
The
background.
ones everyone gets all teary-eyed and cries,
No,
like
it's
at
just
the
you.
end.
You're the only one
Like
crying.
at the end of every Subaru commercial. They're pretty
She owns
awesome.
a Subaru, so ever since
We're allowed to advertise like this.
ever since she got one, she's like, every time one of those comes on, she just starts crying.
Give me every time.
It's rough. So I think a car commercial is good because we're kind of moving and kind of melodic and fun. Yeah. do they like our music automatically? Is that part of
Yes.
it? Okay.
Yeah, that's part
so
of it.
they enjoy it.
Yes, they like being
I was
there.
gonna say I'd like to play it, but this person might hate me. I don't know. I think it'd be really cool to like have some of the legends of rock and roll, you know, or maybe Bob Dylan. Yeah, that'd be cool to play for Bob Dylan.
I mean, I know
He's
this.
alive though.
This is more of a, we're thinking of all people, but my favorite band of all time is the Decemberists. So I just feel like if we could play with them or for them, they would
see it.
respect.
Maybe they'd all grab
respect us
instruments and
and-
jump on
oh,
stage.
that would be amazing.
That's
They grab
probably what
instruments,
would
all jump on
happen.
stage. That
So
is
we'd
my
perform
dream.
for, and then they would perform with, as a result.
And then we
of
would
the
back out
inspiration.
while they finished because
While they
they're
finish,
so amazing.
and we would be the ones cheering at the end,
That's right.
and they would bow. I think that's how that would happen.
You got that other one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Well, I guess I'll just do like maybe one more.
Okay.
What do you think is the future of the music industry? So that's like broad, but do you think
Wow.
everything's just kind of becoming this digital thing? Is it harder for people to kind of get out there and get noticed? Is everything a festival? This could be like open and broad to whatever you want.
I think the future of the music industry is that the pendulum is going to swing back to great music. I think for a while there, it kind of swung towards, hey, we're in a digital age. Everybody can make music, and everybody's music is good, and it's all out there. I think a lot of people are realizing the importance of curating music and finding and supporting really good artists. And I believe that there's going to be that kind of knee-jerk reaction to the music industry as well, where people are going to start wanting to support musicians and buy records. I definitely don't
Because if they don't, there are going to be musicians being able to make music as much, or I mean definitely, well, they've always been working other jobs, and I think it's a lot of musicians working other jobs and then trying to do it on the side, which can be difficult to do because you need the time to like make the music and all those sorts of things. But we've played with lots of bigger bands that can't even do what they're doing, and they're selling out venues because they're having to open up their own wine bars or do other sorts of things because they can't afford to do their career, just their career. And so I think it's going to have to, if people want maybe serious musicians, I guess. But creativity can come out of anywhere, so even if you have another, I mean, we all have jobs, so, but it just seems like a more appreciation for music and musicians and artists in general.
And I think so. And as the genre that we started in goes mainstream, like when we kind of started this out, this sort of indie folk, indie pop thing was definitely way underground, And as Mumford & Sons kind of made it big, Arcade Fire won Best Album, made it huge, I think you're going to see people getting even more creative with music and kind of changing music again. So it's going to go through evolution as it always does, and it's going to be cool to see. But I definitely don't think the music industry is dead. I hear that a lot from people. I think generally there are good people out there who want to support the arts. I see it happening in Cleveland. I see it happening in other cities across the U.S., and it's good. And
I think mostly you're going to see people needing labels less. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen, because used to be you could just be really good and a label would want to sign you. Now it's, well, how many Facebook likes do you have? How many Twitter likes do you have? So you almost have to be completely self-made before a label will sign you. But then you need the label in order to be self-made. So it's kind of like a catch-22. So once you're self-made, why do you even need the label as much anymore? So I think we've seen lots of bands making their own labels or going away from the label because of that particular reason.
Yeah. So a lot of independent music, I don't think that's a bad thing. It opens the door, so that's going to be good.